Dr. Sharmila wanted it to be a totally informal type of a meeting, and we had arranged it a little more formal, though not totally informal. But so I'm not going to read out her biodata from this. I'll just tell you all about Dr. Sharmila Mande. Well, all of you should clap and give her a standing ovation because she is one FNAE. Okay, she's a fellow of the National Academy of Engineers. So we are proud to have you, Dr. Sharmila. And let me tell you, when I was just going through, all of you all can just have your seat. And when I was just going through her biodata, I realized she's done so much work on the gut, and everybody knows nowadays the gut health is the most important thing. And then I start seeing this gut-lung interaction. I was wondering, how can there be an interaction between the lung and the gut? But then I think we should hear from her later sometime. And then she's done so much work on the microbes there. And she was telling me that she's been doing work on how to improve what are the food items that we need to take for different guts. So these are some things, which is very important for all of us from all fields, and we need to know all this. So I would, from NGRI side and from my own side, again we should have a get together like this and speak, get her opinions on all these things, because this is what is going to remain in our minds. How much ever we read about it, it never lasts. But now I know what things about the gut, some things about it is very important. And she has US patents, European patents on this. So I think all of us are lucky to have her here with us and to interact with us in a totally different topic. And that topic is how you're going to balance your work and office. Home and office. These two things, balancing it is not an easy thing. Because, see, ma'am, I'm not married, but I did have my mother to take care of. So, there are things, each woman will have to make a balance between her home and her office. So, I guess ma'am is going to first start off her talk, and then it's going to be a total interactive meet. So, welcome to NGRI, and she did tell me it's a beautiful campus, and I'm sure IICT and CCMB guys women are also enjoying this beautiful place here, and let's continue with the discussions now.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. I've tried to do something in research, which I can talk about it some other time. But it's really a pleasure for me to interact with the scientists, the senior scientists, the budding scientists, the new scientists from the three CSIR institutes, NGRI, CCMB, and IICT. I have interacted with, in the past, I have been to IICT and CCMB campuses. They are beautiful. NGRI campus, this is the first visit to NGRI for me. It's a beautiful campus. I had a 1-hour walk in the morning, so it's really nice. But CCMB and IICT campuses are nicer too, but this is a much bigger, I think. When I was invited that to talk about the work-life balance, I thought that it will be more like a discussion. That's why I thought that it will be, if we can have a kind of informal. I mean, unfortunately, because of the COVID, there has to be a social distancing and so on. But I thought that it will be nice if we can have a roundish kind of, so that we all can see each other. So it will be more like a discussion, but let me start. When we talk about work-life balance, one is that, you people are all scientists, and you wanted to be a scientist, that's why you are here, right? So the budding scientists who just joined, they also, right from the beginning, they wanted to be in science, right? So when we talk about work, is the passion which we have to do something in life, right? For us, all of us, we want to be a good scientist. We want to be recognized. We want to do as much as possible so that that benefits mankind or humanity in some way, right? As a scientist, right? So that's in the work front, right? You are passionate about doing something and you are doing it. So it's very important that whatever work you are doing, you have to be passionate. It should not be like somebody else is doing, so let me also work in the same field. That actually does not work. Okay, so when it comes to work, when you talk about life, that's your family life. It's very very important. You can't ignore, because you are passionate about being a very good scientist. You can't ignore your work, your family life, right? It's very important to spend quality time with your parents, with your in-laws, your husband, um, uh, your husband, children, and so on, right? So it's very important that you spend quality time. So it's easy to say that work and life both you want to be as successful, but there are few things which, if you keep in mind, I think it's not that going to be difficult, particularly for the young people. So first thing is those, particularly see, when we all came into this field, I'm sure I'm sure at every stage you had, when you chose to be a scientist. Um, so I'll just give you my example. I won't give a lot of examples of mine, but it will probably come out during the discussions. When I wanted to go for science, and that was the time, 10th and 12th, people would all look forward to engineering and medicine. Okay? I could have gone into any one of those, but I decided that I wanted to go for science, and it was very clear. So, what made that possible for me to go into science was the support. So, one thing which is very important is whatever you do in life, work in order to have the work-life balance, you have to have a support system. Whether it's from the family, whether it's from the institute, you have to have a support. So, I got a support from my family. That's why I could go into that. Moving forward, so when the young, scientists, they are going to get married, you have to ensure that your family in which you are going to go, they are going to be accommodated. They understand that, the importance of you being a science, and you being, you want to continue your science. That's very, very important right from the beginning. Let it know, because I know many people, they leave science, although they wanted to be, but they left science because their in-laws or, husband didn't want, right? So you can make it very clear right in the beginning, right? And you make a choice whether you really want to drop it or you want to continue on that. So it's very important. So support system is something which is absolutely necessary, both from the family side as well as from the your organization side, which I'll come to a little later on. So when we talk about the balance, this is one. From the work side, I just said that your passion will continue you to do work more and more and to excel in that particular field. Your work, your family life. If you spend quality time, you know that your family will not get affected. But having said that, you have to do some adjustments of time as well. Okay, there are a lot of things which actually it's very important that you manage your time appropriately. Yeah, it may happen that you have to do your work at home and then go for work. You might have to get up very early, or you have to do certain, some of your readings and all late in the night and so on, for your research thing and so on. So those, I think, will automatically happen if you like that whatever you're doing, right? So managing time is something which is very important. Managing time, try to see, and I'm sure everybody will do. I think women are very good at that, managing multiple things. They are that we are all very very good at that. So managing time is another thing which is important. The other thing is that, support, I said, the managing time is another thing which I said. Um, now the I think more will come, but another one which people generally ignore, and I think that's one of the very important point which most of the people feel that, no, I don't have time. That's the mistake. So that comes to, see, if you have to do something efficiently, you have to be fit to do that efficiently, right? If you have to fit, if you're fit, physically, you'll be fit mentally, so that you will be able to do both the work at home as well as in the office. So one has to be very fit. So do whatever exercise, workout, whatever, I've heard this that I don't have time because I have to get ready in the morning, I have to get my children ready, but I don't believe it. I'm sure you people can take out some time. I'm sure that you people spend some time with some other activity, but spend some time. It could be yoga, it could be just playing with your children some game or some badminton or football or whatever, or if it can be just go for a walk in the morning, right? So I always ensure that I go do at least 1 hour work in the morning or evening. So whenever you get time, it's not that you have to do in the morning, but you find out some time, and I'm sure that uh, you know people will realize that yeah, we can squeeze in some time to do that, and because this is very very important, which people normally ignore for to be most efficient to do the work. I think I'm going to stop now. I just gave you some points, but let's do the probably the interactive session, and I can talk about my experiences or manage time and and so on at different stages. I did manage with when my kid was small during my when I was about to submit my thesis, but I can talk about those experiences. They talk about if you want to. Otherwise, it will be a kind of a monotonous, one-way talk. But I didn't manage it. It's all because of the parameters which I said. I did get full support from my family. But even my parents, my in-laws, my husband, they all supported also, and they have been. My husband has been supporting first, because they have to realize the importance. So I think this support is something which I have, and I have also adjusted several times and start the work at 5 in the morning in the lab, reach the lab at 5 in the morning and so on. So those are the kind of things which I have done in the past. But I think I'll just open the floor for discussion, and everybody can say about your experiences or your problems, what you feel, and then we can discuss from there. Does that sound okay? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Maybe you can start from there, and then I will end it. A very good morning to all of you. We welcome you to NJRI now. I have been associated with this institute for my doctoral work, professionally as well as personally, and it's a great learning experience hearing you. What all of you are here, what I should say, all of you are here because you are managing your work in life and your home, which is why you are here sitting. You would have done your work in the morning and then you would have come here with your all scientific plans to be executed today in your lab or in your office. But what my experience or my thoughts about this work and life balance is that see how we take care of our home. We have our best intentions, we give our best to it. We find out time, howsoever we have to, same intentions we should have for our work as well. Then only we'll be able to give the best. And for that, ma'am has already said, we need to find our support system, we need to find our time, we need to keep ourselves fit. We need to do what all we can so that we are able to manage it. What I learned was what comes easily goes off very easily, isn't it? So we have to work for it. So this is all. I need not say I know most of you. I'm here since long, and then this is what drives us. Else, it becomes very difficult how to go by. So our determination, our work, our intentions matter a lot. That takes us a lot way forward. So we should have that, what we have for our home, for our child, for our keeping the things tidy at home, so keeping our office tidy at home, how we give it to our work, we give it to how we give it to our home, we give it to our work, and that makes a lot of difference. And then to do this, sustainability is very important. See, we are in research, we are expected to have publications, we are expected to have many things. Say one paper at a time,
might not help. So at times we are not in a position to give that one paper in that specified duration of APAR or what we say the progress report. But then the sustainability and the determination to have that sustainability can drive us. It will not come in 1 year, it will come in 1.5, 2 years. Little, little, little. This we have to manage how we are doing it. So we can meet, there can be a time delay in that, but we can meet the expectations. This is what, this is how I have worked, and I believe all of you too are working, and then you have your own ways to cope with the system you have, and that is all about the work life balance. So, thank you so much. Let me introduce myself because I don't think everyone remembers, from NTR. Few people, of course, I know. Shall I? Oh, shall I come this way, man? Have you started? No, 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 no. Good. A very good morning to all of you. Good morning, ma'am, Dr. Kirti, and Mrs. Mande, and everyone who have assembled here from all three laboratories, NGRI, who's hosting, and also CCMB as well as our lab from where I come, that is IICT. My name is Sharmila and I work as a chief scientist at IICT, having 26 years of science experience in polymer chemistry and characterization. I moved on for the past 4 years into management. So I'm now heading the business development and research management for the past 4 years. So my experience on work-life balance is, I would say that it was very smooth. As man has already said, support system is the most important. So I had all the support from my parents' side to pursue PhD, and then after marriage, my in-laws, which becomes our family later, and that definitely is, you have to keep that in place. If that is not there, and if you can't make them understand the importance of what you're doing, then we lack that, and everything goes bad. We cannot. So, and then what's more important after you have the support system is time management. Time management, not only the day-to-day life, but also being a woman, planning of your child as well, because you are in science. You can't really do that without having a proper plan. So when I got married as a PhD student, I saw to it that I would have my first child when I submit my thesis. So that's how you get some time to take off. So, and then the second child, or when you have children who are very young, if you have to go to Delhi and make a presentation for your review of your projects, now I would see to it that I can come back. So I would request the committee to kindly put my presentation a little bit earlier so that I can catch the evening flight and be back home. So like that, all of them would help us and support us and understand the basic needs on our requirement at the family front. So I think if we are little thoughtful and make a better planning, we can lead a balanced life between work as well as family. That's the experience I have had. And now, having the kids grown up, with the managerial work, I have to do 24/7. Evenings also I have to sit with the laptop. Someone will come and say they'll not like, at least now I have some assistance for cooking and kitchen work, the domestic help. But even then, sometimes, they wouldn't like that. So when they come and ask me something, I have to do some quick fixes for them, which suits their palate. So that time I sometimes feel guilty. I say I'm coming, but then I forget and I'm going to go doing this work. And then when they reappear in front of me, I feel very bad, and then I just shut the laptop and go. So it's all in the game. It's the law of life that we have to endure the responsibilities both at laboratory as well as in the home front, and how best you try to excel in at home, what our friend was also telling, that is what you will reflect even at office. I think we can handle it very well with the support system if we have. So that happened in my case, and that's the example I can say, and I'm able to perform to the best of my ability. I think so that shouldn't come from my side, maybe my boss should say. But whatever, I think I am doing a balance. So I would like to hear from others also. I have no particular advice, but let me hear from others. We can hear that you can talk later on. Good morning. I'm Prathama Maitra. I work in CSIR-ICT and I'm senior principal scientist. Uh, my experience is slightly different from others because I worked for longer years in industry than working in academic institutions. So it was a ma'am would know. You have different timelines and different pressures than we have in academic institutions. So balancing that was like a really tight rope because a batch would start at maybe 6 in the morning, and like ma'am said, we have to be there at 6 o'clock because they will not start the batch without you being there. Or it would go on till 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the night, so you have to be there. So that's a different experience, but yes, without the support of the family, it's never possible to do this kind of things. So I had a great support to take care of my whatever I wanted to do. It's different because not very many women were there in industry at that time, especially in chemical industry. It was very difficult. But yes, I had to also teach them. They were not really understanding my needs at some time, so I had to teach them that these are my needs, so please adjust with me. So that was the way I could do it. But before I pass on the mic, I would like to ask ma'am a question. Ma'am, we all have pressures and stress. So how do you de-stress yourself on your way of daily life? So yeah, we all have stresses at different levels. I mean, of course, in industry we have a different type. Unfortunately, I'm in the industry, but I'm in the research, the research organization within PCS. So that has a complete research. But there are deadlines for certain things, like you have to present to the CTO or present to our chairman and CEO and so on. So there are other stuff. So when I have those, one of the things which actually helps me in de-stressing is my long walks. What I try to do is that I'm actually a very, I mean, the people know me as I know that I do seriously take walks and participate. Of course, in the last 2 years, due to pandemic, I couldn't participate in the 10-kilometer run. Otherwise, I participate at least once a year. I participated in Hyderabad, in Pune, and in Delhi as well. For the last 2 years, I haven't. But people know that I do go for long walks in morning and evening as well. So what happens is when I walk, but it may be different. People might feel that de-stressing will, you get it through yoga. I think yoga is one of the very powerful ways of de-stressing. But somehow I haven't. I mean, I started, but somehow it has not. I mean, I've not continued. But the walk definitely it has. What I do is that when I go for walk, try to think about some of the points, some of the things which I have to do. When I actually know that I have to present something, right? So during that walk, I keep thinking in my, make a plan of, what I'm going to do so that my mind is clear what all I'm going to do. So when I actually sit down and start working on it, I know what all I have to do. So the stress time, one is of course the walk. Second thing which is important, which actually helps is, talking to someone and then talking about what the stress is about. Like I talked to my husband, I say this is something which is bothering me. So there was something. So he always comes up with some of the. So if you talk to your parents, your husband, your in-laws, or whichever is there, the family also helps a lot. That for distressing because everybody will have a different ways of distressing. For me, it's more just relaxing and just taking a break from the routine and then going for um, you know a walk and then thinking about it and then of course you discuss out with your husband some of those points. So, but it is important, when you're stressed out. I mean, there are several times you do get stressed out. Of course, I had different type of stress during the COVID time, um, but I'm just still trying to get over that slowly. Um, but I think it's possible, but it has to be, but it has to be, you have to discuss out with somebody. One should not keep it to, oneself that, something is bothering you. So, but it may be a very close friend of yours you want to discuss with. It may be your husband, it could be your mother, your father. So, actually, you don't have any. Nothing you have said, ma'am. You have said. I know all of you would be having your own ways to manage stress. I manage my stress by doing my work. That is the only way. So the more I do my professional work, the more I'm able to manage my stress. And to do that, really one has to be very fit. So this is all two things I can say, that we have to be fit to do all that, so that if your de-stressing thing is your work, your paper, your research grant you fetch and your PhD students, it becomes very easy, I think. So I manage it that way. A lot of times, I'm sure each one of you must have faced it. You send the paper, it comes back, right? And no. In the life sciences also, ask the CCMB people. It's the same thing. It's nothing different. You send a paper, and thing which really bothers me, that it gets rejected, and you see another paper which is so much inferior quality, coming from a outside so-called famous university or institute, and it gets accepted in the paper. In that, so you get frustrated. I mean, I had also one which is like, after review, I sent it back, and it came back with a minor comment. So we are happy, and we just answered everything, and we were 100% sure that, because it was only minor thing, second revision. And when it went, it came back with a reject, because editor had changed. So editor has actually surpassed whatever the earlier editor had said, that, but no, we have to do a major thing, and then he just rejected. So you can imagine the frustration comes in that. I mean, that paper was a fantastic paper. I mean, from my side, I mean, I know that the reviewer had given very nice, comments. So I mean, I think the frustrations do come, the stresses. I mean, then you say that, we have done so much of things, and then, I'm sure each one of you must have faced it, or the young ones, you will face that. Don't give up. The point is, don't give up. It comes back, you send it to another one, and it so happens, sometimes you improve. I mean, all those reviewers could have given some better, some comments. You answer those, but somebody does not accept. But finally, the paper goes to a better journal. That's another thing which happens. So don't give up. So I don't give up. So I keep trying, and it will. I know that it will, go to a journal somewhere. And when it comes to work life, you also think that that you should be recognized and so on. Right? These things matter. Papers, patents, all those things, they actually matter a lot when it comes to your satisfaction as well. Right? But this, you rightly said that at some point you get stressed, either because of work pressure, that you have to complete something within a certain day. That happens particularly in industry. And the other one, I mean, you are pressurized that you have to publish in a good journal and so on. But that happens, you will be able to publish in good journals, particularly for the young again ones. I mean, you have to keep looking out in your area who are working in those areas. Keep reading. I still read a lot of journals, and see in my field what is happening, what is the trend, and try to see whether you can come up with something which you can enter into that field and then start producing. And if you are one of the early birds, you will be recognized in that. So I entered into this microbiome field. I think the CCMB people will know what I'm talking about, the microbiome field. But it was in very, it was in infancy. And I entered into field. I was the first one in India to start that, and people didn't know what it meant. So started with, I mean, I didn't know where the field was going, and now this field is become a really a hot field, because we all talk about that, whatever is so I started with algorithms, development of algorithms to start with. But eventually everybody started coming to me and said that let's collaborate because we have done so much of algorithms. We want to understand say the stomach microbiome. So started doing that. Something on the eyes, something on the gut and the malnourishment, all that kind of thing. These are all this actually comes automatically. But you prove yourself. But yeah, so coming back to your point on frustration at certain points, they do come at various levels. So, but don't give up.
Hello, I'm Dr. Saujanya. I'm working as a principal scientist at IICT. I'm working on computational studies, mostly into material science. So I agree with you. We having a fitness is more important to have a good working capacity. And luckily, we have in IICT our director and our management have arranged a lot of yoga sessions and other physical activities, which actually helped me a lot. So I can see a lot of change in my ability after doing this. After though I was doing before also, but now it has become very continuous, and it really helped me a lot. And I am encouraging every of my colleagues and giving lot of sessions to my people surrounding me. And many times everyone says I don't have time. So
That's a very standard one, I'm sure. If I ask all these people, I don't know how many of you actually feel that you don't have time to take out, to do some exercise. And beautiful campuses, all the three campuses are beautiful. If nothing, I mean, just going for a walk, it actually relaxes your mind. When I went for a walk, I mean, it was, yesterday, that when I came in, I was not well actually. So, I mean, that after seeing the campus, going for work and all that, it actually relaxes my mind. And talking to you people, see, I mean, it actually gives me that energy. So I'm already charged up with this thing. So all three institutes, I mean, all CSI institutes are beautiful campuses. I think we should utilize this. This is actually you are living in a resort type of environment. You just go for a walk. It actually helps. I believe me. That's doing whatever. You do yoga. Yoga is another thing people go for. I don't do much of yoga. I mean, I started going for some yoga classes, but somehow when you have to continue it and also on. But there are people who follow regularly, and actually that helps. So I'm sure that everybody can do it. But how many of you actually feel that you don't have time to do any exercise? Now people won't say I know. Okay, how many of you actually regularly do something? Good. Yeah. So others, those who don't, I think for others, I think I know you have lots of things which you have to do. I mean, I have also calls at 10 o'clock to 12 in the night as well because now that no travels, I don't travel to Europe. So for me, I mean, like all those travels which used to be there before this COVID, like going to Europe or US, all those calls are now in the night. And the usual or India, team meetings and all that, they're there in the during the daytime. So actually, but you can find time. You said that you don't have time for the cooking and thing and all that, but I'm sure you can just think about the whole day what all you have done, and then I'm sure you can find out half an hour at least to go to this big beautiful campus, if not anything. And I'm 100% sure everybody can take out. Some of you must be spending some time watching something on the TV or something, right? Just utilize that time for I think a little bit better than you watch that also I think. But I think don't ignore that. And actually it helps. Believe me, it helps. You're mentally you're much more fitter than this factor people don't consider when they talk about work-life balance, but I feel that this is one of the important factors apart from, your support system and so on what I just mentioned. So let's some young people. Why don't you please.
Uh, Good morning, ma'am. I am Vailata Banerjee and I have joined this as a scientist here. So my question is like for us, we all of us, most of us complete our PhD at 28 and then go for postdoc. So this age from 28 to 32 is the age where we are under a lot of pressure for publication, and also in the family plans we have to get married, establish our family. So this age, there's a lot of stress, and we sometimes tend to carry the stress of office to home, home ka stress to office. So how to keep it separate? I mean, how to switch? Like, if my paper gets rejected, I will not stay frustrated when I go home, or when if something happens at home, so I'll come back or it come to office all stressed. So how to keep it separate?
Good point. Good point. Yeah, this is the time when you are setting up your family life. You are trying to set up your research career. Uh, but the thing is, I mean, it's important that when you bring something home, your stress at home, and that's why I said that if your husband is very supportive, you discuss out little bit. That's something which has not, this experiment has not worked, right? It has happened in all this, I mean, I have experience of more than 35 years. Before, I think most of the people were born, here. I mean, I have experienced more than your age, so I have more than 35 years of experience in this. So there are a lot of times, I mean, it has failed. During a PhD time, and there are things which will not work. You get, oh, I don't know how the PhD works. So I'm sure that during PhD time, you would have faced that. Now, when you are setting up your lab, you will face the similar thing. But to take that, if you take that, whatever upsets you in the workplace and then take it home, that's not going to help you in any way, right? Discuss that with your husband. If your husband is very supportive, if he will understand, okay? And just try to think that, okay, you are going to do it. Maybe you will not be able to publish in these 2 years. Maybe you'll publish in next year. Okay, so it's not that you have to publish in those 2 years. It's possible that you will publish in the third year in a much better journal. You may publish in Nature or something, right? Which is some of the journal papers, the research work what is needed is much more than what is. I mean, you can publish in some journal, some work. But if you have to do excellent work, that that do take 2 or 3 years of time, right? So don't take the positive attitude that something has failed. You will not be able to publish now. Think long term. You will publish if not in 2 years, but next year, because you also have to think about your family is also as important, right? If you keep thinking about the work is the only thing which is there, then you will have this problem. So it's important that if you bring the problem, I mean, whatever is bothering, just discuss on that, okay? And don't let it linger around with you. Think that what will be the next step which you have to do, right? So, and from the family side, as I said, the support has to be there. So if you have a baby and then there has to be husband or your in-laws, they should be supportive enough to say that we will take care. Or if you are going to go on the leave, I mean, of course you will get a maternity leave, and during that time when you come back, if there is a support system, fortunately you have the crashes. I'm sure that you have crashes in all the institutes, right? That we never had that. Right? I never had that crash system. IISC has crash system now, but when my child was born, there was no crash system in IISC Bangalore. So, but now you people are fortunate that way, right? So you can continue working because you can go back and see your baby and coming back and so on. So there are a lot of positive things which are there, but don't keep that, then you won't, that balance will never come. If you keep, bringing your problems home and then hope problems, if you take it back in the office, you'll keep thinking about the house, if something has not worked. Then you will not be able to do justice to any of them, right? Neither at home nor at the workplace. So I hope I have answered you.
Good morning to you all. Thank you so much for this time. It's really inspiring to hear from all our seniors here about their experiences. My name is Inder Nadagar, and I just recently joined here as a scientist in NDRI. Just continuing with what ma'am had to say and continue with Bhavika's question. Like we spend almost a major part of our productive hours at workplace. So speaking about stress and balancing here, what do you have to suggest how to maintain a healthy workplace, working environment, so that we can have a balanced life without stress, so that we can address our stress here, or do we have to just leave our work stress here and not take it home? So what do you have to suggest for that?
Uh, yeah, so I mean, yeah, you spend a lot of time in the workplace. Completely agree. And if you have, see, the best part is each of these institutes, you have all the colleagues who are also in are scientists, right? So one is, of course, you can discuss out there is something which is not working out, right? Some of the experiments, suppose if you are not getting the results or if your paper has not got accepted, you do discuss out with people within, and that actually helps. But taking the whatever is bothering you in the workplace, taking it back home, as I just said, that's not going to help you, right? You can think what way you can solve it, what way you can get over it. Uh, so again, I come back to the same point: rejection of a paper. That's one of the things which bothers, right? I don't know. Is there any other thing which, or some experiment which has not worked, right? Something which has failed. You have planned to in a certain way, but it has failed in some way, right? The experiment has not worked. But if you go back home and think about, you know, why it has not worked, that's not going to. The only thing what you can think is, what is that which I can do? Of course, don't ignore your family. You have the quality time with your family, and then later on you think about what is that which you are going to do when you go back next day, right? How do you fix that problem? What is that, if the paper has got rejected, what are the other things which I have to do to get it to a better journey or something like that? I don't know. Is there any other problem you think that which bothers, which when you go back, when you're in the office, apart from these, experiment not working or, paper getting rejected? Is there any other thing which is there in your mind which
I'm sure all of you will have some differences with the boss at some time or the other, especially when we are younger. Definitely, we are going to have it. But, you know, as time progresses, what I have learned is the only way to survive is ignore and live your life. Do your work, and that's it. Just engross yourselves in the work, because this problem is a universal problem and it cannot be removed. As a young researcher, everybody will have it. You'll definitely have some issue with the guide, and because no guide student relationship is going to be perfect. Okay, later in life it becomes perfect, but initially no. There will be always a counter to everything we do, everything they say. So these are the things you will go through, but don't take it to your heart. It's my See, it is normal to have stress. Sometimes you may weep. It's good to weep. Weep it out. That's one thing. Go shopping. That's another thing. Go see a movie is another thing. I mean, just do something totally different and it goes away. And then you'll realize how stupid you were. Yeah, yeah. Post COVID. Yeah.
uh, which one should I concentrate my work or with? And the chances were when I was doing my doctorate. I was abroad and I had a 10-month-old baby. And my professor came one fine day doctorate, and he came and he told me that everybody else in the lab is working in late hours, and just because you are not working in the late hours, I don't think you can graduate this semester. That was the statement that he made to me. And I was like, really? I'm working 12 hours a day in this lab. I used to go to my lab at 8:30 in the morning, and I used to come back at 8:30 in the night. And I thought that I am giving enough to my work at that point of time because it is to me, my doctorate degree is for me. So I was doing quite a justice to my work. But then I said, okay, maybe I have to concentrate more towards my work, and I'm concentrating less on my less on my work at this time. Then I had to send my baby back home to India to my in-laws because I had no care there. There was nobody to take care of him. So I had to send him back to India. It was very difficult for me as a young mother. It was very, very difficult for the first child to be sent at 10 years, 10 months of age. But then every other relative was like, what? Is your work that important to you that you are leaving your child at, in a different country? So it was like, oh, really? So I think we have to come out of this guilt feeling, the feeling of guilt that creeps in. I think it's completely justified if you are thinking about home in work and work in home, because if I'm working late hours in my home, compromising on my family time for the work, I think it's justified for me to think about my home or the problems that my kids are facing at home during my working hours also. And to the points that you added, ma'am, support system, yes, I have wonderful family to support, and that's the reason it's continuing for last 15 years. And support as well as the time management, I think your own temperament matters a lot. There are phases you can't maintain the same balance all through your life. I think there are phases in which you have to decide whether your work needs you more or your family. And then the perception of course, the seniors matters a lot. Like my professor said that because I'm not working late as I can't get graduated. So I think that perception also needs to change a lot. See, that wouldn't have happened. That's why I said support. When I say support system, it has to be support from your family as well as from your organization. Your boss, if right in the beginning, says that, see, I mean, if I have a baby, so I'm going to work, I'm going to start early in the morning and go back little early, but I'm going to work at the amount what I am. So I did the similar thing for me, for myself. So I'll tell you when I said that 5 o'clock in the morning. Right? So our son was 2 years old, and we were in US for our postdoc. Okay, so when we were in India, I mean, I had a support system from home. My mother-in-law used to come, for those 2 years during the last before we left for US after our PhD, right? So when we were in US, so he was 2 years old. He had to be put it in the daycare, and daycare was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and he would come back at 4:30 in the evening, right? So now we have to adjust. Both of us were postdocs there, and fortunately we are in the same university with the postdoc. So what did I do? So I actually spoke to my professor. Both of us actually did with the same postdoc, supervisor. And I said that, this is what we have. We have a problem because I won't be able to, do that, the office time, right? So I actually requested that can I come early in the morning. So I used to take the 4:30 bus in the morning, reach the lab, start the work at 5 in the morning. This is in US. 5 in the morning, and then my husband will drop my son to the daycare, and he'll come to the lab by car, and he'll come back to the office at by night. And then what I'll do is that at 4 o'clock I'll drive the car back, pick up my son, take him to the library because I have to spend quality time with my family, right? So I used to take him to the library, sit with him in the thing. This is after office stuff from 5 in the morning till 4 in the office. I would take him to the library because he used to enjoy reading, books. I would, carry lots of these books. He was 2 years old. They used to read books after books. So I just pick up. I mean, he'll pick up those things, come back home, make him all the thing, and then my husband will come back late at 8, 9 o'clock, and so on. So and then he will spend some time with him, and then after he sleeps, and then we continue a little bit of our work. So the adjustment is possible. This was possible because my boss agreed on this, right? So this is the time when you need support, and that's why I said the support is important, not just from your family organization. If I would have done the same way you had, right, then I mean I would have, he would have said that you're not doing work, so your postdoc is not good enough, right? He still remembers all those, my boss still remembers that. So that support what I've got during, I mean I was fortunate that I got excellent support not just from my family but from my postdoc thing, even from my my guide in the ISC. But I think this is what is important. When I said that support is from both sides. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. So it's actually yes. So yeah, so you're saying that if you don't have family or from the organization support from the, see, first thing is try to explain out. I'm sure that they would, there will be some, you just explain, right?
Yes, yes. The point is that this is common thing that we should have a family support. But do you think that this question is wrong that why should ladies should have always support? I think we should teach our other parts that they should have support and they should be discussed sitting here that how to balance work and home. Then everything is solved. Why should we always think? Because maybe I'm wrong.
No, no. So see, so for as a woman, we have, when we get married, right? One of the things which is, of course, it's a responsibility of both parents to take care of the children, right?
Yes.
So when I talked about, when I just mentioned the point which I mentioned about that I used to go in the morning and so same thing could have been done. Like my husband would have gone in the morning and I would have gone at 9 in the thing and I would have come back at 9.
But in some cases, still there is no, most of the cases, I should say in India, there is no support. So then in what, because this is one thing everybody is discussing the support system for ladies.
Uh-huh.
So are not we did explore we that from the starting now we can say that this should be taught at the school level that this support should be from the they should sit here, we all of us, not only ladies, and we should teach them that you should have a family, how you to balance. This is on you, all, all. That
So
so you
don't they
should balance it.
understand? Don't they understand that? Because it is, see, you're the daughter in the house. So parents do understand they have to support you, right? So,
Yes,
so give me some example because I do feel that that when I say for unmarried, for example, let's take that the support of the parents supporting because they want the children to be
yes,
happy.
parents are always separated, but in-laws are supportive.
In-laws, yeah, in-laws.
They are not saying here, but most of them are facing this problem. I will add on to what you have asked. No, we should. I think we should discuss that scenario also because we are always. We are assuming that our office is supportive, our in-laws are supportive, and we have to sitting here. See, we should. Model should be on other side. If your husband is not supportive, if your in-laws are not supportive, then in that case, what should we do? I think that. Otherwise, what we are doing is. That is one solution.
So that is why we are said to manage our support.
Yes, I hope it can be audible. So the thing is, actually, we are asking about the situation right now or 2 years back. Apparently, everything starts right from the childhood years itself. So because we try to balance from there, some parents support that we take, but apparently sometimes the parents they are busy and they are, but we also have something within ourselves that we have to sense that we are a combination with so many good things that we have. Actually, we try to teach this right from childhood because we have our own art, walk, sports, or music combinations that we have in ourselves. So we, when we ask for support, that is an expectation which starts. Expectation starts from there. So basically, the balance from childhood when it starts. So if we try to look in ourselves, like if we have a holiday, what do we do in your childhood? We try to spend in our own hobbies or something. Where again, the parents support us. Where all was that. Man, I think so. I was very happy when we got to know that some of our schools and being in our school for 25 there it started actually, I worked as for a few months as a teacher there, otherwise from government school. So when the teachers got to know that I'm very good in art, they immediately told Lakshmi, why not after work hours, can you make Stone Age arts for the school children? So from there it starts like how much you can contribute. So basically what we have within ourselves, that starts from there. Then later on, I mean, every 5 years of our life will have a transition. Sometimes it's success, sometimes it is not. So basically, we should ourselves within ourselves sense that if it is a support then we are expecting from others. Self support is the utmost thing. You can't expect from home, child, in-laws, husband, because we are really a great combination of everything. Man, when you said you have a good box and de-stress yourself, basically the nature that you are looking at, the breeze that is flowing around you. When I came today to NGRA, this lawns where I'm sitting, I saw the beautiful patterns in the trees. So the traditional patterns that they have made. So basically it is everything a combination around you is a de-stress. So it just erases off at the end of the day what you're going if it is a stressful day.
That I would like to continue for stress. We have Dr. Suchitmita who is LMO at NGRI. I think from past 2 years she has been put more under stress than us all due to ongoing pandemic. And today also our fellow survey is going on and she has to leave and come here. So let us listen from her.
Good morning, everybody. Actually, after hearing about all the discussion going on, I find it out that it's very easy to blame others for our failure. Her husband is not helping, in-laws are not helping. Actually, I am not the exception. Initially, I was also blaming those people, my mother-in-law not helping. But now, I am married since last 20 years. Now I am at that stage when I was married, my mother-in-law was around 50. I am approaching that age. I was thinking she's not looking after my son, or I have when I'm coming back from the duty again, she was immediately giving me my son. But now I can realize that I can't hold a young baby for 2 hours in a stretch. And she was looking my son from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. constantly. So now I can realize that we can feel why our in-laws, husband is not working. We should have to see what our husbands are doing. I feel my husband is working a lot, helping me a lot, and just see 1 or 2 generations back how much our father was helping our mother. As compared to first generation, another generation is helping us a lot. When I'm coming, my patients are coming very pain so many. Ladies are now many of our we people are financially independent, but still in a many fronts we are dependent on our husband. Still, and a doctor is still informating I am leaning on my husband. When he will come, he will do that. When he will come, he will do that. When my patients are coming to me, if I'm saying you go to that for consultation to this doctor, so that lady will say, okay, my husband will come, then he will take you to the hospital. The parents teachers meeting, my husband will go. When we are keeping everything pending on our husband, so what will happen? He will get frustrated. Then he will shout. Then marital disharmony. Then again you will start saying, I am doing kitchen work, he's looking after the baby, I am earning also, my husband is not. So you should not only be financially independent, you should independent in all aspects. Being a lady, I am accepting we are weaker as compared to men. I am not saying we are shoulder मिला के चल रहे. No, because there are many things we can't do. But one more thing, mentally we are not weaker than those. In many things, fighting they may defeat us because physically we are weak. But mentally, many things we can do much better than them. Right? One more thing about Madam Chair about exercise. This is also an excuse that I am so busy since morning to evening, pandemic is going on. Still, I am 2 hours daily. I am doing workout. है ना? When my son was 6 months old, I started jogging. Now you will say, who will look after your son? I brought one jogger time. My son was in the jogger time. With my son, I was jogging. I participated in Dr. Gehlot के साथ marathon वगैरह last week of November 10 kilometers. And our profession is not only our priority. You should first make your priority. Everyone will have different priorities. It's not like that my career is most important. Everyone will have their career is most important. Just make your priorities. And one girl was saying कि if some stress in the workplace, if you are facing stress in the workplace, it means you are not enjoying your work. Start enjoying your work. It means that is not your choice where you are working. Same thing, how to manage. You should enjoy your children's company. Once you will see your child is coming, once you're coming back from home, work to home, he's hugging you, all stress going in one year. So start developing one hobby. Everyone will not have one hobby. My hobby is exercise. Your hobby may be cooking, dancing, listening music. One stress must just develop some hobby and make some plan for retirement also because this time you're having many colleagues, families, kids. After some time, kids will leave you. And don't expect anything from your kids also. Right now, you're expecting from your husband-in-law. Then you will start expecting from your daughter-in-law. Right now, you're cursing your mother-in-law. After that, you will start cursing your daughter-in-law. Just see how good daughter-in-law you are. How much you're doing for your in-laws. My in-laws help me a lot. But my father, like the cancer patient, in cancer patient, he was taking my son with me to the doctor when my husband was outside. And I was not very comfortable with driving, but my father-in-law, he was praising me. No, you're not driving. First, you just need some हाथ साफ होना चाहिए. But you need just practice. So he was my moral को वो boost कर रहे थे. So I really appreciate my in-laws, my parents. Everyone helped me a lot. Maybe I can make many things. They have not done this. They have not done that. My parents. I am from UP board. They have not put me in the English medium. These are excuses. These are showing just to blame others. Why I have not been. I am a doctor. I know among the doctor category, I won't extend anywhere. So doctors in specialists, super specialists, there are so many. If I am sitting in front of the doctor community, among the scientist community, I am getting respect. But among doctor community, I am nowhere like medical officer in the government institute. But I am happy with that because my priority is not my career. But if your priority is your career, don't compromise too much in your career because otherwise later on you will regret on that. So just fix your priorities. If your priority is your family, just keep some time for family also. Because once kids are grown up, then you will miss their childhood, which I am missing right now. I am thinking I should give more time to my kids, which I missed. Now I am feeling I should give more time to my parents, which I will try to do that. Thanks. So tell people that you have very good support, but we are not like that. Okay, there are people whose in-laws are from village background or very orthodox background. I didn't have a support, and added to that, my husband was posted in a different station. I didn't have his support also. So please suggest something of this sort of a situation. And even our work life is different from yours. You know, we are supposed to sit 9:30 to 6 in the seat and go nowhere. It is only lunchtime we pick up some time to have a walk around. No, please discuss about our situation also. And as we reach an age of 40 to 50, and normally the health is deteriorating. And we are moved off, we are on transfer all the time. We live with gut stress. So that is adding up to our health actually. Please discuss something about our situation also. Yeah. With me is one admin officer also. Mrs. Lakshmi. She's our admin officer. I'm the controller of administration here on TPS Technique. I agree totally with our LMO, Dr. Suchita Madam, and Mrs. Manaja Prasad, the Finance and Accounts Officer. Okay. Good morning. I'm trying to words. I just looked at this.
kind of a sorority meeting that we are having here. And I ask myself that what it is we are expecting at the end of this meeting. Are we expecting some solutions for each of us? Are we expecting to reach some policy decisions? What is the way forward? We know that situations for every person is individual and different. It's very, very hard and I think dangerous to generalize anything. Everybody's personal circumstances, origins, the way of working, the things they work on, everything is different and everybody has to find a solution. Work-life balance is an issue, not today, it has been there for thousands of years and will continue to be there for hundreds. I'm sure we all have to find our own particular solutions. But why is it that we still, in isolation as women, continue to talk about work-life balance? Why are everybody not part of work-life balance? There are many men who are attending uh, things at home. They are attending things at home and at work. These same issues, these same problems, the lack of support or more of it apply to them also equally. This discussion, and if we want to achieve something out of this discussion, needs to be done together. And solutions need to come for all. It's only a system which will provide, which may be able to provide some safety net for each and everyone's problems. Yeah, we are all talking of individuals, but I think along with the story of individual lives, we need to see what is common, what is not. There are people who are blessed, perhaps. There are people who are struggling a lot. People are achieving in spite of struggling or because of struggling. So there's a huge spectrum. So what can we do as a community, not as a sorority or a fraternity, but as a community to make this better, to make people more productive, to empower them and enable them? I think that's at the end of any discussion, we should try to achieve some conclusions. Thank you.
Basically because it's pandemic time and I did not want to invite many people. First, I thought it's going to be an interaction meet totally with the men also, but only because I could keep it to 10, 10, 10 from all the three labs. Yeah, yeah, it's a general thing. But this is one of the reasons. But yes, men are a part of it, and I think after repeated discussions only over the generations, fresh system has come in place in all organizations at every level. There is a women's room in every building, in every organization. After discussions, it has come because I'm sure 40, 50 years back, all these things were not available, just as she mentioned. So over the years, things have improved. Maybe these kind of discussions would tomorrow give, just like a crash, an old age place. Like a person like me would like to ask my mom to stay there if I don't have a maid system at home. So we don't know, but there will be a transformation. There will be some kind of a help system where organizations would give. And the administration has said that it is difficult. It's not easy for all of them to get all the support system. Ma'am, as I told you earlier, when we don't have support system, maybe mates are the only support systems. And the mates charges a lot. But only thing there's a balance which we need to make. The money balance will come in there. There is no other go. Like even for me, I was just paying through my nose to all the maids. If I don't pay, I won't be able to come to office at all. If I don't have a maid, I won't be able to go to Delhi in the morning to evening. So I have to pay through my nose to allow my things to happen. So that just as Shalaja said, she was just running in the morning and coming back in the evening. I also did that when my mom was there. I used to go in the morning and come back in the evening. But morning it means I have to leave at 4. So I need a maid. So every night for her, apart from what you pay her salary, you pay her 1,000 bucks more. So you have to make a balance between money and
money and this, because that is one thing which all we women should realize, and all the youngsters, don't bother. If you need to do certain things, you make your balance. Work on your own balance, on your own terms and conditions. So, any one of you would like to say something now at this? Yeah, yeah, young girls, please. Yeah, for the other model. So, what is the other model I can think of is just money part. You make your balance with your mates. If there is something else, ma'am, you would like to add to it, if you don't have a support system.
That is fine, Kalpana. We know we all have to, we know our problems best. Nobody else knows, and we need to find out a way. Nobody will find out the problem for these. And as I agree with Dr. Shuchita that she said that see the time how it has been. We are in that transition stage. See how the IT guys are these days working. So many a times when I'm there in the university and then some for certain reasons I have to go out, I see the girl saying milk लेके पहुंच जाना शाम को हमें 10 बजेगा पहुंचने में. So he says yes yes. I do you want anything else? So things are changing over the time. You know, academics is a thing that it takes a long time, and in academics too, the government system how it goes by, things are changing. More and more girls are working, they are getting the support, fortunately. But yes, we are in the transition stage. Maybe your generation, mine, the coming youth still will be there. Perceptions are changing, but yes, they are taking a long time, which really makes us think that let's lose our patience and let's vent out many things. But then always see in our what support we, as somebody said that how our childhood had the support, how our young teenage had the support, how we continued all our things that drives us ahead and do as Kusumita said that yes, that environment has to be there, it has to be created, support has to be made. We need to have good facilities, we need to have many things that are required how we give it at home. We require the same kind of facility. So these are slowly coming up. Only thing is that yes, they are not at the pace we are wanting it. But all I can say is patience and perseverance overcomes mountain. We have to build up and we have to move ahead. That's all I have from my side.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Benya, and I'm from stage of my age where I'm 33. I joined my PhD at the age of 35. So why such a transition is there? So when I will just lay out a small story of my life where it will give an answer to someone who is having a question, and I may not be able to answer everyone also because what we cannot satisfy everyone at one point of time. That is what is major point. So when I started my childhood, my father was working in a central government or director of post and audit general. So we had an audit office and account office in Odisha, Cuttack district. So we basically know that central government जो बच्चे होते हैं तो what they always discuss in the office either medical or engineering. This is what was there. I too had the same pressure. When my cousins were there, his father was in Odisha Administrative Service. They were three sisters. They never had such kind of pressure. I am the only daughter, eldest. My brother was youngest, but still the pressure was on me. Being a daughter, everyone says yes, daughters have the least pressure, boys have the more pressure. But it was reversed. Rather than my brother, I was having more pressure. So I appeared my Odisha JEE because at that time we don't have a combined medical entrance exam. So we were having Odisha JEE entrance exam. And I scored a rank of 250. 250 in general, we don't get a seat. We will get a seat in private colleges. That was the first stage of my life where I have to decide whether I have to go for my normal botany honors or I have to take a dental. Because studying in a private dental college, paying a donation and everything was not on that part of time when my brother was also studying. So I said, no, I want to take a botany honor, which is nothing bad. Because
teachers in University, which is one of the reputed universities in Bhutan. So I took up my BA in botany honors. That was the stage when my father had a small, just like a pinch. Oh, why my daughter felt like that. But I never felt like realized that stage. Then one day I got seat in education in CA. So I did my from botany honors. Suddenly I switched over to computer application. It was all new when my father was trying to comfort me. I see my father when I was preparing my exam. Besides my just the couple of children I have seen what my parents have done. He just put a mat and then he said, okay, my children will wake up around 2 o'clock, they will prepare for the exam. So we need to comfort them. By that time, Bonvita will be ready. Biscuits will be ready. I've seen that eating that I had got from my parents. So then after computer application, my father retired in the year 2006. So I was just like, okay, I want to be independent. I don't want to be a dependent on my father anymore. So I thought of doing a job. But my education was not properly complete. When we join in some engineering colleges, we need to have an MTech degree or a PhD degree to be in a profession. So my first stage of job started in 2007 as a lecturer in government engineer department, government college engineer department. So there I got a support and I came to know what to do further in my next stage. So in that stage I was just looking how to get an MTech degree without needing a job. So at that point of time, my father told me, you need a job, better you prepare for this, it is a full time. But I was looking for a college who can give me a no objection certificate and allow me to continue my MTech in computer science and engineering. So that was a stage when I did my MTech. But always after MCA, I was continuing as a lecturer. Then the next higher stage I want to be in an engineering college where I can get a recognition instead of lecturer, assistant professor. So after I entered, I joined my engineering autonomous engineering college in computer science and engineering department. So I was teaching to BTech and MTech students till 2014. So in that stage, a stage comes that we always want performance appraisal in an engineering college. And without performance appraisal, you don't have get an increment even. That is a very nominal increment is there. But if you have publications, you get a degree, suddenly they make you senior assistant professor or associate professor. This is what is the deal. So at that point of time, my father said that yes, you have a because I was from computer science and background, I did my .NET. When my friends were going to the software development line, there was always a choice for me to join software development line. But I told my father, no, I cannot give so much time to this. I want to take up my translational research, teaching, where I can explore myself. But my father said, because she must be seeing all her friends have got a placement in TCS and Wipro, she herself feels behind. Why is it so? It was a point of time when my brother joined an Australian-based MNC, which was working for Air India Limited. So my brother joined at a very younger age for that job, and he was posted at Distributor India, where we have the Indian oils and he was getting posted in the government and other places. He had, when he was being posted to this side, my father was very much worried for him. They used to call him even in the night, what are you doing? I used to tell my father, आप हमें एक बार भी कॉल नहीं करते हो बाबा. Now I know that I did not have to worry about you. That was the thing. So I came to know how parenting and the support that I got. But my father always said that maybe हमने हमारी बच्ची को कहीं थोड़ा सा रह गया. Because at the age of 26, after completing my cousin completing my university, they got married. There could have been a pressure from my father's side. आपने भी कन्या और शादी कर दो. ऐसा नहीं हुआ. But rather than my brother got married, this was a decision taken. My brother got married. Now he is having a son who is in DAV in 6th standard. He is having a daughter who is 2 years old. With such a lovely family, I am being blessed. I could not think of any pain now. But when I started meeting my friends, my father used to ask me, अरे तेरे फ्रेंड्स सारे जॉइन कर चुके हैं प्लेसमेंट में, तुझे बहुत अच्छा टीचर भी मिलेगा. Because coming to in the evening when I was coming home from college back, engineering college was in different city. I was staying in different city. Every morning by 4 o'clock I used to wake up first. With my mother, she used to wake up. She will prepare my lunch and breakfast. By the time 6:15, I need to be at the bus stop. If I miss that bus, then I will miss my college bus. If I miss my college bus, then to reach that place, I have to pay a hefty amount to reach to that engineering college. So by time, this was the time management my parents were also doing work for me. I felt that I never felt that they have grown old. They were also managing the time with me so that they can support me. I should not have a change in my behavior because when we are unable to support get that management of managing time and work, suddenly our mind and brain works differently. We have a behavior change. What we understand when my mother she crossed the age of 30, she was saying when we cross the age of 30, there is a chances of menopause. So women go through a stage of behavioral change. After 2, 3 years, this behavioral change can be there. Sorry, I'm using, but I'm very open about it because I don't make feel shy of talking about some interesting topics. So that behavioral change never came into my life when I was working. And this support has come from my parents. They could have pressurized me to get married. But what answer I have given to my father, I want to give my career a chance. Again, I want to show you something. But in that pressure, I was able to become the topper of the university despite of working because I was working, I was coming to the college from the college by 3 o'clock it will get over, I come, I take all the classes. When I come back, it was not at that stage I was also giving tuitions to engineering students at my home. By the time I will reach, I have my food, I will reach the tuition students again. But in that story, there is one man who was there. My father will be waiting at the bus stop to pick me so that I can reach back home in time. This was the story. And Madam said that we have a support. Yes, I am lucky, I am blessed because I am having a support. But my sisters, they got married and after getting married, they did their PhD. Suddenly, this is what was saying. But for me, I am now doing my PhD. I am a woman, so I because my father never pressurized me. And when I came to this place, many a times just like we all encounter workplace pressure, किसी को publication का pressure है, किसी को colleagues का pressure है. Luckily, in the engineering colleges, I never felt such kind of pressure from the colleagues. And we have a very restriction. Every day you need to make 6.5 hours or 7 hours so that in a week you have this many hours of working. बायोमेट्रिक हमेशा रहता था और आप जब अपने ईमेल को फिजिकल एक्सप्लोरेशन when you we open our this is the time logged in. Next day when you logged out that information will be also gone. So if you are less by that much hours also we were getting there was a pay cut and they were giving only if you 3 times we will allow in a month and if you cross more than 3 there will be a half pay or it will be a CM, or it will be a lot of things. So this is what is a private engineering condition. Rather than we are working in a government environment, what is there I don't know, but some of that mental pressure has never come to me because most of the travel time management was done by my father. And I was like only concentrating on what I am doing. So I got that benefit of having a good salary. Now when I came to IICT, I had developed a pressure. I wanted to do something in big data and analytics. But how can I leave my own research work and do it? At that point of time, my supervisor, because this is a supervisor also, but my supervisor, he came and told me, you just concentrate on your postgraduate diploma in machine learning and AI. So I got myself registered in Triple IIT Bangalore. At that point of time, if we are registered to a Triple IIT, this the kind of post curriculum and they give us work pressure is also there. So how to manage it because every time we have every week assignment was there. I used to pressurize my teacher. आप अगर लैब में नहीं होंगे ना हम कैसे काम करेंगे? I cannot use the system. The system, my laptop is not working fast. The system that is there in the lab it will support my application. So I force him to sit in the lab to support me. So I'm lucky in that sense that I'm able to get that diploma.
So there are two points which I could make from your story.
strengthens the, what I suggested earlier, your support. So the support which you have got, the parental, particularly your father, that really saved. Second one, which I said, the passion, right? You had passion right from the beginning that you wanted to do something of your own. And you wanted to do something, I mean, you failed somewhere, but you didn't give up. Right? So first you didn't, when you didn't get into the engineering, but you didn't give up on that. And then, if you're passionate about something, to doing that, you know or dare. So each individual, always whatever we are discussing, some people are saying that they have some problems, but if everybody is an individual, okay, you had problems because you did want to go to engineering, but you did have that support. Some people may not have support, but can get it. You just said, sometimes when you need some support, maybe you need help at home. So, for example, that may help in some situations and so on. But in your case, what is saying is that your passion of doing something, learning something also what you have, and being supported that, that your father didn't say that you get married. Yes. Probably if you would have got married, but you didn't want to, you want to achieve something first, right? And you keep on doing that. So that is what you said, and they are supporting. That's a great thing. Not all parents can do that. And so only a बच्चे हैं तो शादी होनी चाहिए.
No, that's what I love that never they made that I should have any change in my
No,
thinking
so
or
that
my
is all. This is not individual. That's what everybody is. Whatever questions they are asking about, these are not individual. That I am passionate inside. Somebody is, or I am interested. So you are right now. You want to do something in machinery or driving in engineering. You want to do it, and you are doing that as a focus point. And you will do whatever is needed. You will learn whatever is needed to learn that particular area. Right? So when we talk about the work-life balance, the point which I just said, right, your passion, what you want to do. If you want to do, if you want to, somebody asked about, in the administration, somebody said that in the administration, that there are, then you get transfer. Somebody mentioned about transfer. But this is not, I mean, this is not the only, there are a lot of places where they do get transfer. Husbands are somewhere, but wife gets transferred or husband gets transferred. You look into the army, military, and all those areas, right? They keep getting transferred, but they do have some kind of arrangement amongst themselves. So it's all individual. When it comes to individual, the problems, I think each one will have to find out a way. If there is no support, find out a way. And I'm sure one of the things which is mentioned that this is not when we talk about adjustment or the balance between work and life, it's a problem which we have to put. I mean, men and women, they have to take care. Absolutely right. So, but what we do, what I was just talking about, that we do that at the, when we talk about the, the life, that is the family life when we talk about, we discuss out with our counterpart at home, instead of bringing them and saying, okay, listen to everybody, or you give your opinion, so that we have our understanding at home, whether it is with your parents or your husband or your mother-in-law, whatever the part, that you have the understanding at home. So that goes individually. I may have a different kind of problems, but I try to adjust accordingly. You may have a different one. You may have a altogether a different one, but one has to find out, a solution of their own. We are all grown up, and we are educated, and we are intelligent enough to think of some way of solving that. It may not be a perfect solution, but you can get over that solution. That's what I think. Each individual one will have his or her own problem. It's not that the men are not having the work-life balance problem. Of course they do have, but they also have to do the same thing, and they do that. Right? If there is something which is your mother-in-law, she's working, she comes here, she expects something from her husband. So it's I mean, but that understanding happens at home. Right? I'm just giving an example. There are other things. So it's all individual based, and I think we all will have the capability to adjust that. What is it? And come out of a solution to adjust that. I think the few which we have heard, but I'm sure.
I think we'll be getting late. I want IICT scientists, CCMB scientists, everybody to just have a look at our magnetic observatory and the seismological observatories, which are run
the seismological observatory is run by a male colleague of ours, but the tsunami part is run by me, and then the magnetic observatory is run by Kusumita, who just asked the question. And tomorrow, ma'am will be going to Chautupal. That's another beautiful campus of NTRI there, where we have there. They're going to inaugurate the magnetic observatory there because there's a lot of sound, noise pollution that comes into data here. So I would like ma'am to see that, and then all of you please join back here for a nice lunch, and then you'll go back to your offices. And all the NDRA staff, please, if your youngsters you all want to go around, please do go around with ma'am and others, and then we'll have the interaction. Okay, sorry.
For the cure, can I ask ma'am a question?
Sure, sure.
About the gut bacteria. Because exactly can be
Actually, you really tell us.
yeah, actually,
All of us want to talk on that.
yeah, I know. I just want to have I have a doubt. Like because gut bacteria, gut microbes overall in terms of lot of
This topic is something when I wake me, I'll just tell you, right? That if you wake me up in the middle of the night and talk about, I will wake up and I will start talking about it.
yeah, so like we have a habit of taking too much, right? In the before night, before we go to sleep and all. And that is the time where the microbes will accumulate in the gut that will help in the overall body health. So is it a very bad idea to have too much of cleaning of our mouth or anything? I don't know. I'm very naive at this area.
Well, there are a lot of research which are going on. There are microbes all over. I don't know how many of you actually really want to listen to this. I can go on for hours on this particular topic. Very different to the topic what we were discussing. There are microbes all over. We have in the, on our body, we have 10 times more microbes than our own cells. So that's the protein, microbial cells in our body. So everywhere, on the skin, oral cavity, gastrointestinal, right? Whichever is exposed outside. So when we talk about the oral cavity, what we have obviously some other books which you have read. There are the microbes which are there. I don't know whether the washing actually the washing should be done, but there are microbes which are there, certain microbes which are there in the oral. People have linked that to certain cancer, not just the oral cancer. Some cancer in there because it finally enters into your gastrointestinal tract and it gets expressed to the gut. And what is becoming very, very clear now that what is there in the gut actually controls lot of, it's just not affecting only our gut health, but it affects the health of different organs which are distinct to the gut. We have been doing the work, several groups have been working on that, and as we said that we have a paper which has been published on the link between the gut microbes and lungs, affecting the lungs. I think we are writing a review, we have written a review article which should go this week for public, for sending it to journal publication, that the link of the gut with the liver, lung, heart, brain, people have shown, heart, the behavior also depends on what's there in the gut, the microbial community which is there. So it's getting very, very clear now that the gut microbes decide the health of an individual. There's a paper which someone who is interested can read that, which we recently published and which is called the gut feel, which gives an indicator of if you take something, intervention, say a probiotic or some food, you want to check whether your gut health has improved or not. You can find out before and after. Basically, what it calculates, when I say gut bacteria, how do you measure that? Because I'm not going to enter an injection. This is not novel medicine. What you do is you take the stool sample. Okay? The stool sample has all the bacterial cells which are there in your large intestine. It's a representative of that. So what you do is you sequence or extract all the bacterial community from the stool sample, do the sequencing of all the genomes of all the bacterial community, what we call as the metagenetics. Okay? And then you analyze those sequences, which is a very complex. You have almost like 2 dozen, more than 2 dozen or 3 dozen of algorithms which we have developed for analyzing that. It is very, very complex because you don't know what bacteria are there. So we have several pages, close to 35 pages which are already after 6 days or 7 days after some therapy or some intervention, to take the food sample again. So what I'm going to check is I'm going to check what all microbial communities are there, and also which are the good bacteria which are there. Okay? Whether they are increasing or decreasing. And there are some parameters which we have. This paper we have given ingredients this one. So what basically the way it works is this bacteria they produce some metabolites. Okay? They go in your systemic circulation and they affect different organs. So otherwise, how do you expect something to go from your gut to the brain, right? It goes to the systemic circulation and to affect the different organs also. So it has a link, and so the gut brain is the code which we have calculated to see whether the gut is going to be is better or not. And this, what we have extended is that you have to increase someone's gut health, which is indicating, I mean, indirectly I'm saying that improving the health of the individual, we have to give appropriate food. So older days, people used to, grandmother, parents, and grandmother and great grandmother, used to eat this, okay, not eat this. If you have certain things, you eat this and that. So what does that mean? The idea of what we do in a traditional way. So we are way back in 18th century, it says that, 17th century, it says that we are what we eat, is what, father of medicine, Hippocrates said that. And now actually it's becoming really a truth. Because it is that what we eat, it actually decides what bacterial groups are there in the gut. And that decides what our health. So all this, whatever food, whatever you take, they say if you take this, your health will improve, or your blood pressure will go down, or the BP will be alright and so on. It's all linked to the, the bacteria which are there. So the kind of food, I mean, the way it is progressing, and which we are trying to do, and hopefully we'll achieve at someday, is that, we've built personalized therapy. We're talking about what kind of food should be given to an individual to make that person healthier. And it will be, it's not, so there's probiotics which is like, certain probiotics like the bifidobacter or lactobacillus, these are the probiotics which are known. But we really need it, does it really help? Maybe I have enough of lactobacillus, I may not need them. So there will be a time when, we will be able to say that I don't have these good bacteria, take this cocktail of good bacteria which will improve my health. Or take this food component which will increase these bacteria and which will improve our health. I mean, this is like going towards the personal health and healthcare is what we're looking into. So, I mean, this is the field which I've been working for more than 10 years. And this is a very, very exciting field. I think those who are from the biology, from CCMB, I'm sure that you people must have seen the several papers on this microbiome. I mean, that's okay.
And you have a research interest in bioinformatics. I have gone through the biodata, especially when my son is an immediate following and doing a research today. So I was so lucky that going through your biodatabase and getting the chance. Thanks, madam. And thanks our director also because he has given me this chance to talk to you. And this is a big platform where I'm able to meet you also. So you have developed some of the skill-based applications also for analyzing some microbial studies. I have gone through some of those. Just I've given a glimpse because the person who I am going to meet today, I wanted to know about that person. I didn't have any idea.
And you did homework.
It will be. Yes. Now,
We can continue on that. Yeah.
ఏం చేయలేదా